be scary to jump into the handmade business world with your art. You don't know whether people are going to absolutely love it or just point at you and laugh in your face. My name is Laser Lady. I have been designing and making my own handmade laser cut jewelry for the past decade. I'd love to help ease your tension with some of my very own life experiences. I truly believe with the right mindset, you can achieve the business dreams of your lifetime. This first one is going to really help with your anxiety, and that is a mindset shift from your products are not an extension of you. Now, I totally get it. Once you start making things, you feel super connected to it. I do too. Sometimes something is just so hard to make, and once you get it exactly the way you wanted, you feel elated. This is an extension of you, of your hardships and triumphs over everything that it took just to make this thing, right? But the customer just doesn't see it that way. When you are a child and you make this great piece of art and you hand it to your parents and they just throw you this whole party about how amazing it is, they're gonna put it up on the fridge and you just feel amazing, right? You want that same sort of validation going through life, especially as a crafter and creator of amazing things. You're hoping your customers have the same reaction, essentially. Your story, background, and process of how you make these things are really beneficial on selling these products. But you have to know, once it gets in the hands of your customer, they aren't seeing their little kids drawing every time they open the fridge. They're reminded of you and how you're not that great at drawing drafts, but it's kind of recognizable as a draft, but it doesn't matter because they love you, you're their kid. The people who are buying your items now just have this thing in their house or on their wall, or for example, jewelry. They meet me at conventions and I'm like, yes, I design and create everything with a laser and yada yada, my whole spiel, and they think, that's really cool. I'm going to support this person. They're funny or whatever. And I like this item, I'm going to buy it. But I bet you everything I've got, every time they put on this pair of earrings, they're not necessarily thinking about me, because it's not about me anymore. It's just their pair of earrings or their sign on their wall. Do they like it? They like their sign. They like their thing that you made them. It's just a thing. It's not an extension of you anymore. It's literally just an object. Even big brands kind of fluff up their story to make things a little more relatable, but once it gets into your home, it's just a thing. For example, off the top of my head, there's the organic Annie's mac and cheese, and they have crackers and snacks and things like that. I get a lot of their mac and cheese, and they have their little story on the back of a lot of the boxes of how they would have to stay up all night and to fulfill orders, and it was really hard, and here they made it, and it's a big success story. But at the end of the day, I just want some mac and cheese. And that's really what it means to me, the customer of this business. So even though I really do like the mac and cheese, I like that it has these humble beginnings, and that might have persuaded me to get this product in particular. To me, it's just mac and cheese, and it never has enough cheese. There's no boxed mac and cheese in the world that has enough cheese. Let's just face it. These are facts, but something we can solve another day. Another reason why this is a good mindset shift is then you can see things more from the customer's perspective, which will allow you to make more products suited for them. Because at the end of the day, we are here to make products and we want people to buy them. And speaking of people, let's jump into the next one. People are crazy. Just forget about them. I have been accused of breaking somebody's pair of earrings and then shipping it out to them. Ridiculous. I have been told my jewelry is ugly to my face at a convention. I even single-handedly apparently ruined Christmas for someone because their order didn't get to them on time. Now, to me, the first person is obviously nuts. Who in their right mind would do that? I am in my right mind. I would not do that. The second person maybe just has a bit of a problem keeping things in their head and not spewing out of their mouth. And the third person just didn't order it in time to get there for Christmas. So I don't know how that's really my fault anyway. And you know how I deal with all of these? I laugh about it. I have been in the customer service space for far too long. I have so many stories of customers absolutely exploding over the silliest of things. One thing that really helps get me through a tough time with a customer is, you remember when you would watch a rated R movie, but it was on just like normal TV, so they'd have to dub over all of the cuss words? Me and my mom used to just sit and yell at each other like, "Forget you, no, forget you," because we thought it was just so hilarious because it never lined up to their mouths, and that was not what they were saying, right? So every time I get a bad review or an angry email from somebody who is just going off of me for pretty much no reason, I just say, "Forget you." Perhaps you get a 2-star rating because someone thought that a pendant was bigger than it actually was, despite all of the measurements being in the description. Well, forget you. And maybe someone else writes you a super angry email because your shipping costs are just wildly expensive and you are ripping people off. Well, forget you too, snothead. It's unfortunate, but you will run into these exceptional customers, and you really just need to do whatever it takes to get them to go away and block them if you need to, give them that refund. But really, at the end of the day, when you're reflecting on what had happened, just laugh and, forget them. If you're really struggling with anxiety selling, this next one will probably not surprise you, and that is, you have to take a leap of faith. Some people aren't going to like your products. And some people, unfortunately, in your life might be negative toward your ambition to even start this business. Now I'm going to get personal with you. Every time I have started a business, and it's been quite a few times now until I landed on this one, people, even close friends of mine, were like, "Oh yeah, well, good luck," really sarcastically to my face, or just would scoff audibly like, "What's she up to again?" Because I have failed before, which kind of makes for not a great friend. And luckily, a lot of those people aren't in my life anymore. Even when I go to craft shows, still to this day, I have people asking me how I actually make money. And I'll tell them by selling this laser cut jewelry, and they just will not believe me. The only way I can shut out and shut up the people in my life that has ever gone against an ambition that I might have is to use their negativity as my motivation. I have to prove them wrong because I know I have it in me, and I know you have it in you too. Negativity is still energy, so use it as fuel. Now, forget all these naysayers you might have in your life. One of your worst enemies a lot of the times is yourself. You have to take a leap of faith on yourself. There is a time and a place to say, "I can't." Personally, I can't lift 300 pounds. I can't do a backflip. And for the life of me, I can't bake macarons. And yet, none of those things are impossible for me to do. Well, maybe not the 300 pounds part, but if I trained real hard, I could probably do a backflip, fingers crossed, and I could definitely figure out macarons if I just gave myself enough time and maybe the right ingredients. That would help. I'm convinced the things you tell yourself that you can't do or aren't ready for is absolutely malarkey. Hogwash. Ridiculous. It's easy to keep thinking you can't do something when you prove it to yourself by not taking any actionable steps. So stop getting in your own way and start taking these steps. If I look back and think of how I got to where I am today, doing what I do, selling what I sell, it actually started in the year 2012 when I very first listed some items on eBay. I wanted it to be my New Year's resolution to start a side hustle that I was going to stick with and that was going to work out. I had watched a bunch of YouTube videos on it, yada, yada. And to start, just ran around my house finding some nice things I didn't need anymore and listed them on eBay. And I'll never forget, I heard the little cha-ching on my phone at, I believe, midnight 03 on New Year's Day, and I cried. I was just so validated by this magical universal gift of a sale on some book that I had that I literally teared up because I thought this was a sign I am going to do it. And that was really the building blocks on selling online and how I got to where I am now. And if I had never said, it's not gonna hurt, I'll just put a couple things up on eBay, you know, they'll sell or they won't sell, I'll try something else if this doesn't work. If I didn't take that first step and conquer the fear of like, what if it doesn't work? Then I just still have this crap laying around the house. That's not a very big deal. I never would have gotten to where I am now. It was a really long story on how I got this far, but either way, that was one of the first steps I had taken, and I'll never forget it. One of the first steps you need to take might be that small, putting something on eBay, making a Craigslist, telling your neighbor, oh, I can help you with your mailbox because I can make the things I make, etc. I don't know what it is you make, but you get what I'm saying. So no more excuses. If you're waiting for nicer weather, if you're waiting for a better time of the week, if you're waiting for, I should just get that one thing done and then I'll be ready, stop making up excuses. You have to start taking steps. To be honest, whatever business you're trying to start, it might not be the one you end up succeeding in. Be kind to yourself. Take time with your business and taking these steps. Make sure you are doing things intentionally and with an end goal in mind. The best thing you're going to gain from this business journey is experience. And whether you decide to go on with it or change course entirely like I actually did, you will have so much knowledge that will help you in your future business self. So you really have nothing to lose. If you want to learn a little bit more about how I got to where I am on my own business journey, check out this video over here. It goes over pretty much what happened to me in the last decade, and hopefully it will be inspiring to you because things go up and they go down, but the goal is to always keep climbing up. So check it out.